collaborate and listen. I sit back with my brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly, flow like a hawk.
Hey guys, Gary over at Lacrosse, and today I have some custom dies done for Lacrosse in Annapolis. So let's get this started. First is the STX Zen, and it's a Maryland flag, black fade to yellow. So there you go, you can see that's the flag. Next, we've got the Brian Quantum, which is a black down to red, black fade to red. And then next is the brand new Proton Power 2 with C channel. This is done with a black fade down to red. Now for the face-off guys, we've got a Warrior Blade Pro High School edition. This is a black fade down to yellow. I like the blade for face-offs. The only thing I don't like is the stiffness. I don't think it's good for guys who do like the pinch and pop and the plunger like me. Generally once you do it, you got to jump up and you're running downfield trying to bend your head back straight because it just takes the shape and holds the L shape. So that's the only downfall to it. Anyway. And then now for some other ones. If you guys follow me on Instagram, then you would have seen the pictures I posted last night of these. Ironically, right now I actually have more followers on Instagram than I do YouTube. I think I'm at like 630 something on Instagram, and I'm at like maybe 610 on YouTube. So, but if you follow me on Instagram, and most of my followers came last night after Greg from East Coast Dies reposted a picture that of these heads that I had sent him first, because I usually generally on any like full customs or a new custom that I do, I always send him a picture first and see what his opinion of it is, and then I start posting the pictures and doing the videos and stuff. So here we have the brand new Brian Cyber. This is done with a Navy die designed after the Navy football helmets. So as you can see, it has the anchor along with the rope up top, and you can see that the rope actually weaves in and out of the anchor like the helmet does, and it's done with that gold down to a navy. I didn't want to get the color of the gold too dark because the gold stripe on their helmet is kind of shiny, so it makes it look like it's a little bit lighter than it actually is. You can actually get like the gold look, and even you can get it darker than this. This was done with 2 tablespoons of lemon yellow RIT dye, and then a half a tablespoon of the tan RIT dye. I could have gotten it darker by adding more, but like I said, I was toying with it, and then once I finally got it, this was the color that I wanted to go with. What I might end up doing is making the rope a little darker next time I do it. Lacrosse actually is getting ready to give me about 25 heads as a first batch to dye, and they want me to do a couple of Navy dyes with that, so I'll try to make the rope a little bit darker on those. So here's that new Brian Cyber. It's their new defensive head. They're trying, I guess, compete with STX with the hammer. Actually, it has the 2 screw holes on the bottom, on the back for the shaft, just like the hammer and the new Proton Power 2 with the C channel. The head seems to be pretty stiff, but I'm not a defensive guy. I mean, I play like a defensive style as a midi. That's what I'm better at. I'm not a long pole, but as far as very, very stiff, I don't foresee it actually flipping over on itself like most heads do. I would probably compare this more to, I guess, an X10. That's what it feels like a lot of. I think the hammer is definitely still way better than this. The hammer seems a lot stiffer than this does, but it's different strokes, different folks. So there's the Brian Cyber with the Navy dye, and here is the brand new Warrior Evo 4X, also done with the Navy dye. This was also part of the picture. Last night when I took the picture, I actually had one on the floor and held one up tight, so you could see the anchor, and then you could see the other head. So they both had the exact same dye. As you can see, this one still has that. There you go, has the rope on it, along with the anchor, done with the white down to the gold, down to the navy. Like I said, modeled after the Navy Lacrosse helmets. I was asked to do kind of a review on this one before I dyed it, so I didn't make a video of it, but just messing around with it, feeling it, and trying to bend it around. to me, I think this would probably be a better defensive head. It's very stiff, it's very rigid, but their little sim rail technology that they have, where they duplicate the inside and the outside to look exactly the same. I had one Warrior Evo, and it was the 3X, and I wasn't really a fan of it. Didn't really like it. I played, I think, 2 games with it, and then I sold it, just because it was a very wide head, and like I said, you can see that these are very wide. I never really played with any of the old Evos. Those came out long after I had gotten out of the game, and then when I came back in, there was like huge reviews. Everybody was talking about the Evos, how they were the best heads, and like the proton powers and the super powers. So based off the knowledge that I had at the time, I ended up just going with like them 3 heads. I didn't really care for the proton power. Wasn't a lot of stringing holes. It was way too pinched for me. I couldn't really catch with it at first, so I had one, got rid of that. Got a super power. I liked that. They were nice. The only problem was when I got into doing face-offs, 1 or 2 face-offs, and that head was done for me. And then I kind of started fading into more of the Warrior heads, and I like the Cobra. That's probably my favorite Warrior head out there. And then kind of went into the M80 because it had that same shape. Only problem was that head is just way too flexible. Pinches in way too easy. That's probably the Warriors version of a superpower. The backside, there was no support at all, and that backside would just fold in. And then after seeing the heads they were coming up with, I didn't really care for Warrior anymore. They just, to me, seem like they take 2 heads and make them into one. The M80 is pretty much a Mojo, that's the Mojo sidewalls with like the face shape of a Cobra, and just like the Rabel's got that same face shape of an M80 with the sidewalls of a Torch. So I don't know why I'd go out and buy a head for $100 something that is got the characteristics of a head that pinches in and the characteristics of a $20 head. But people swear by them, they like them. But like I say about mesh, same thing with heads, it's everybody's preference. So, but here's that the Warrior Evo. It's got a lot of stringing holes, so that's always a plus. You can customize your stringing any way you want. I don't really foresee a high pocket in these just because of the lack of pinch to it and how wide it is. It just, to me, is more like a defensive style head. I think it could be used pretty good for a defensive head for being how stiff it is and how rigid it is. But still, to me, not really one of my preferences. So if you're a fan of the Evos and you've been playing with them ever since they came out, then go ahead and go for one. I have yet to see the regular Evo, the high school version. Only ones I've seen so far are the X-Spec ones. So I can't really give a view on those. But like I said, to me, I think this is probably more of a defensive style head. So there's that. And then the next one, they've been begging me to do one of these dies, and I also posted a picture of this on Instagram last night, and I keep telling them no, I can't, wouldn't do it for the price that I've quoted them for the amount of heads that I get from them. But because of the fact that I've been getting so many heads from them, I decided to go ahead and throw them a bone, and I would do it. And they don't know it yet, so I'll be delivering all these tomorrow. And so what I did was on a Under Armour Charge U, so this is the college version. Well, it's a college legal head and a high school. You can use it for both. I did the Maryland White Ops die, so you can see the turtle shell on the inside. It's got the gray turtle shell on that. So the head seems very flexible to me. I mean, it just seems like it's got a lot of flex to it. So I really wouldn't use this for a defense. It's still kind of wide. I would probably, for me, I don't have to abide by the college rules or anything. I can use high school heads. So just the shape of the head in a high school I have seen, and it's got a pretty decent shape to it. Actually kind of has like the face shape of like an Easton, what's that, the Easton Talon or whatever that they came out with. I don't know if it's a Talon, I forget what the name of it is. Not the Stealth, but the other one. The first Easton head they came out with. It has kind of like that face shape. So this isn't too bad. I would actually buy one. I've been thinking about getting one for a while. So, but there it is. They got the Maryland White Ops die. Like I said, those heads, these are all going to be dropped off at Lacrosse tomorrow when I get off work. Coming straight home, grabbing the heads, and then driving down to Lacrosse and Annapolis, dropping them off. So if you guys want one, they're down there. Like I said, there's 2 for the females, 2 regular Maryland dyes for males, and then you've got the white ops dye. A lot of people always ask me to do a white ops dye, and I quote them, and then they kind of step away. And I try to explain the reason why the price of it is so high is the amount of time that goes into it. It's not just putting vinyl on and doing it. It's trying to keep the entire head white. And there is a little bit of bleed, not much on that one, but there's nothing you can do about that. That head was coated 3 times with hot glue, and all it takes is for one tiny little pinhole, and the water gets in there, it finds a route, and it just starts putting blotches on spots. So there's not much. Like I said, it's still a nice looking head. When you do the all white heads on the outside, it's kind of like a 50-50 chance that there's going to be bleed or there's not going to be bleed. All it takes is just one little pinhole. So the next one I got is it's a custom head done for John Cohen. I think he's down in Florida. I can't remember what is that. I never got his address, but I think I looked at the school. I think the school was down in Florida, and he's going to be going to IMG academies. And he sent me this head a couple weeks ago. I told him that it was about a 3-week turnaround just because of the amount of heads that I've had in that I had to get done. I've got 4 more heads that I have to dye. And then unfortunately tomorrow when I go down to Lacrosse and drop these heads off, they supposedly had ordered 25 heads for me to pick up for me to dye. And then that's part of a 50 order batch. So once I knock out these 4 heads coming up, and then I do these, after that it's pretty much all Lax World. So I'm going to be out of dyeing heads for a couple of weeks because I have to get these heads done. I'm a single person doing it. I don't have helpers. I don't have anybody that I can outsource it to. I do it all myself. I believe that's the best way that I can create quality control and try to produce the best product that I possibly can, is if I'm the one that's doing it and not trying to teach somebody how to do it, and especially not trying to teach somebody how to do it on one of your guys' heads. So like I said, it's me. Like all the emails I get, if I don't get back to you right away, it's because of the amount of emails that I do get, the amount of quotes that I'm trying to put out, and the more detail you give to me in an email, it makes it easier for me to try to provide you with a quote. So, but anyway, here's the IMG Academy. That's the logo that they have. There was a little bit of bleed right there on the side. I don't know how that happens because I actually had that was glued all the way up until the edges of the logo, and then on the inside it says IMG Lacrosse on the inside, on the sidewalls on both of them. This one also had a little bit of bleed. I was actually quite mad because this one I went over probably about 4 times. Pretty much put the hot glue on it and then let it all set, and then went back, redid the whole entire head again in hot glue, let it all set and dry and cool down, went over it again. That's one of the keys to trying to keep the head white, is first you got to mask it with your tape or your vinyl, then you go over it with the hot glue, and usually just for one coating going over an entire head takes about 8 sticks of glue if you get the normal size hot glue. What I do is I actually buy the big like 12-inch ones, so I'm not constantly sitting there changing out glue sticks. I can only have to worry about changing out a couple at a time, and to me it just speeds that process up. But like I said, one little pinhole is all it takes, and then you're gonna get a little bit of bleed. It'll find its way in there, and then it'll work its way around, find another spot. Just like with a house, if you have a leak, you may have a leak over here. That's where you see the water at, but the actual leak is over here because the water's coming down, going across a joist or something in your roof, and then driving down the wall, and then it's coming over again, and then finally it drops down to the ceiling. So water's kind of tricky. It's like that, kind of like Barry Sanders. That's how I look at it. Water's like Barry Sanders. You see it over here, but it really started over here. So, but that's it. These are the dyes I've got. Like I said, I've got a whole bunch more coming. I've got a plaid dye that I got to work on. That's supposed to be done off of as well for one of my teammates. He wanted me to try to recreate his family's kilt pattern and put it on the head. He wants the entire head done, so that one's going to be a little tricky to get that design and try to have it look nice. I don't want it to look like that Reebok 9K that looked like a abstract plaid on the head, because that's not plaid to me. And I take it very personal when it comes down to like kilts and stuff like that, just because I'm Irish and in Scottish, and the kilt it's a very big thing in the Irish and Scottish community because every family has their own pattern. So for people who just go out and they buy a kilt, if you just buy one, then it's not going to be the right one. You always want to try to find your family's pattern and buy one for that. But that's not lacrosse related. And then I have another Maryland die along with a Ohio State die that has to be done. And then I have a St. Mary's Riken die that I'm going to be doing. So those are my next 4 ones. I'm going to try to knock them out as fast as possible, and then start trying to crank out these 25 dies to drop off back to Lacrosse and Annapolis, and then pick up another 25 heads to do another 25 dies. So I think there's going to be a mix of female heads along with the male heads, because these are supposedly for tournaments. I know one of them's going to a tournament in Dunkirk. I was actually asked to go to that tournament, and then because of the working that I'm doing with Lacrosse and Annapolis, they're going to be there, and to me it was a conflict of interest. I just couldn't do it. Plus I also had to work too. So, but that's it. Hope you guys liked the video. Hope you guys like the dies. Like I said, if you want one and you don't want to send it to me to have me dye it off, be sure to go down to Lacrosse and Annapolis. I'm dropping them off tomorrow. I'll be getting off work early tomorrow, probably around 3 o'clock. So they will probably be down at Lacrosse and Annapolis by 5 tomorrow afternoon. So that's what you guys want. Stop on in, pick one up. Tell them maybe you saw the video and you want one. If not, check me out on Instagram, check me out on Facebook, and check me out on Twitter. That's it, guys. Have a good one.